The records of Yeshua of Nazareth contain a set of specific operational commands: the rejection of wealth, the service of the marginalized, and the active love of enemies. This creates a jagged contradiction with the actual history of Western civilization, which has consistently operated on a framework of conquest, dominance, and power acquisition. The historical record includes the Crusades, the transatlantic slave trade, colonial genocide across 4 continents, and the concentration of planetary wealth in the hands of a small number of empires. It is common to dismiss these actions as simple human hypocrisy or the corruption of an institution failing to live up to its own standards. But the persistence of this behavioral profile suggests a structural cause. The evidence points toward a hidden allegiance, the survival of a pre-Christian value system that was never actually displaced. The investigation begins with a principle from the Gospel of Matthew: "You will know them by their fruits." This principle suggests that identity is revealed through conduct rather than confession. To understand the West, we must look at what it has produced, not what it has claimed to believe on Sundays. Looking at the historical fruit of this civilization reveals a pattern. We are investigating a divergence between profession and practice that has lasted for over 1,000 years. To find the values that actually drove this history, we look to the deity of the pre-Christian Germanic world, Odin or Woden. Woden is the god of the dominant class. He is defined by the orchestration of war, the mastery of deception, and the pursuit of wisdom specifically to acquire power. His framework of sacrifice is the opposite of the one found in the Gospels. Yeshua's sacrifice is motivated by love for the other and the liberation of the marginalized. When Woden hangs himself on the world tree for 9 nights, wounded by a spear, he does so to acquire the runes. It is a transactional sacrifice made to obtain personal, strategic advantage. While Yeshua declares the poor and the meek to be blessed, Woden's hall is reserved for the victorious. In this worldview, human worth is measured by what can be conquered and held by force. This code of dominance and competition provides a precise map of the historical conduct of Western Christendom. The shift began with Constantine. Under his rule, the cross was transformed from a symbol of solidarity into an emblem of military victory. During the evangelization of Northern Europe, conversion was often a matter of political coercion. Charlemagne, for instance, forced the Saxons into baptism under threat of death. This created a nominal Christianity. The warrior culture was never asked to renounce its core values. They were simply renamed and absorbed into the church. This mutant ideology was codified in the 15th century through the doctrine of discovery. These papal bulls granted Christian sovereigns the right to claim any non-Christian lands. It justified conquest and possession, a concept that cannot be derived from the teachings of Yeshua. The institutional church accommodated the Germanic warrior spirit, providing the theological framework needed to justify its global expansion. In the late 19th century, Friedrich Nietzsche attacked Christianity as a slave morality, a system of the weak that elevated poverty and suffering. He called for a return to master morality, a value system based on strength and the will to power. The irony of Nietzsche's critique is that the ruling classes of Europe were not practicing slave morality at all. The architects of empire and colonial expansion were already practicing master morality. They were building a world of dominance while using Christian branding. Nietzsche identified the massive gap between what was preached and what was practiced. He saw that the dominant culture operated on a value system of power, even if he didn't name Woden as its source. Today, the most vibrant growth of the original communal ethics of the gospel is found in the global south, among peoples whose cultures often align with the hospitality and justice-centered ethos of the tradition. In contrast, institutional Christianity has faced its most significant decline in the Western regions where it was once established by force. This demographic shift clarifies the nature of Western power and its history. Western civilization spoke the language of the crucified Galilean, but its spirit and its fruit belonged to the one-eyed god of war.